When you hear the word security, what pops into your head? I'm guessing it's things like spies, soldiers, maybe some high-stakes international threats, the world of high politics. But what if the biggest risks to our safety aren't the ones making headlines at all? Let's dig into that gap.
See, on one side, you have the security threats that governments and the media are absolutely obsessed with. But on the other, you've got the anxieties that people are actually living with day in and day out. And there's this massive, massive gap between these two lists, a gap that has some pretty huge consequences.
And this brings us right to our first big point. We might need to completely rethink what we even mean by security.
This quote, right here, it just hits the nail on the head. For decades, the entire conversation about security has been run by the elites, the politicians, the generals, the intelligence experts, and even the academics who try to challenge the status quo often end up talking about the same powerful people.
So by focusing only on what we call high politics, the field has had this gigantic blind spot, what it actually feels like for regular people to be safe or unsafe. It's like we've been looking at security through a telescope focused on distant threats, when we should have been using a microscope all along.
And that brings us to a really powerful new approach that just flips the whole script. It's all about focusing on the everyday.
So, say hello to the concept of everyday security. Instead of starting with some top-secret government memo, this approach starts with real people. It asks questions like, what does security mean to you? How does it feel in your neighborhood, or on your commute to work, or when you're just scrolling online? It takes the mundane, the routine stuff, and says, no, this is politically important.
Okay, but you might be wondering, why should a political analyst care about something that seems so, well, ordinary?
This is where it gets really fascinating. The theorist Michel de Certeau had this idea he called la perruque, which literally means the wig. It's all about the clever little tricks people use in their daily lives to carve out some autonomy for themselves. Think about it. A factory worker using company tools and time to fix his kid's bike. De Certeau said, these tiny, everyday acts, they're not trivial at all. They're these subtle forms of resistance, ways that people navigate and even push back against the big systems of power they live in. The everyday, it turns out, is where politics really happens.
Now, an idea this big doesn't just appear out of thin air. It has some pretty deep and fascinating intellectual roots.
First, a lot of this thinking grew out of French cultural theory back in the 80s. Thinkers like de Certeau and Henri Lefebvre were all about the importance of the quotidian, which is just a fancy word for the daily, the routine, the ordinary. They argued that our daily lives aren't just some boring backdrop, they're the actual stage where life is politically fought over.
And the second huge influence comes from standpoint feminist theory. Scholars like Dorothy E. Smith made the incredibly powerful argument that the personal is political. By taking women's lived experiences seriously, experiences that were often dismissed as unimportant, they showed how individual personal struggles can actually reveal these huge overarching structures of power and inequality in our society.
Okay, so that's the theory. But what happens when you actually go out and ask people about security? Well, the results are pretty stunning.
A landmark study in the UK from 2012-2013 gives us a perfect example of this. Researchers used a massive national survey and a bunch of focus groups to really dig into what citizens actually found threatening in their own lives.
The question they asked was incredibly direct and personal. It wasn't what threatens the nation, it was what threatens you, your family, your community.
So when they asked people what they feared on that personal, local level, get this, only 3% of people identified international terrorism. Just 3%. This is a threat that completely dominates political speeches and national budgets, and it barely even registered as a daily concern for most people.
So what were they worried about? Well, their fears were so much more immediate, so much more personal. Things like knife crime, hate crime, getting scammed online, having their home broken into, and that constant nagging worry about job security and just making ends meet.
But the study uncovered something even more complicated. For some minority communities, the state's security machine wasn't a source of safety at all. This quote from a participant named Abbas is just chilling. It shows how counterterrorism policies could actually make people feel less secure, creating so much mistrust that they were afraid to even report a crime.
And the researchers heard this kind of thing over and over again. As another participant, Azza from London, put it, sometimes you feel marginalized and we feel our voices are not being heard. There was this profound sense of being completely disconnected from the official national security conversation. So, beyond being a really interesting academic idea, why does focusing on the everyday actually matter in the real world? What's the bottom line?
Well, the implications are absolutely huge. This approach exposes that deep chasm between government policy and people's actual lives. It gives a voice to groups who are often spoken for, but are very rarely listened to. It completely challenges the idea that only people in suits can be security experts. And, maybe most importantly, it helps us understand why some really well-intentioned security policies end up failing or even making things worse.
When you boil it all down, this isn't just a debate about definitions in a textbook. This is a deeply, deeply political question. It's about power. It's about whose anxieties get turned into policy, whose fears are treated as legitimate, and ultimately, who gets to decide what it really means to be safe.
So let's end by turning the question back around to you. What are the things that make you feel secure or insecure? Not on some grand global stage, but right here, right now, in your own daily life. The answer just might be a lot more political than you think.